and it should be included now.
Let me just check our audio. All right, say something for me.
Hello. Mic check. You picking
Excellent.
me up?
It's gotcha.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, we are here today because we've decided to do our architect showcase series online or on Twitch and stream it live instead of making the videos. And today we are going to be, well, first, the architect showcase is a series that features artists and many different builds of theirs and highlights of their favorite parts of their builds. And so the focus is on the architect, and today we've got Unholy Chastity. She is our featured architect. So would you
Hello.
like to tell them about yourself?
Hi, I am Chastity, aka Unholy Chastity. I am the owner and creator of Wicked 925. I am an artist, jewelry designer, metalhead, goth that's somewhat weird and into Disney movies. So my alter ego in game, I build Disney movies. I love to build things that take people back to their childhood or relive memories or even make their kids happy and put smiles on their faces. So that is where I get a lot of my inspiration for my builds is from Disney movies.
Sounds wonderful. I'm looking at, well, I've already seen many of your builds, but I am absolutely looking forward to revisiting some and seeing some new ones tonight. I've got to group us up, so give me one moment. And are you at your first property right now?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I should make you be the leader of the group, shouldn't I? All right, I'm going to invite you to a group.
Do I need to invite anybody or is it just us?
It's just going to be us, and I'm going to travel to you.
Okay.
All right, so what are we about to look at?
The first house we're going to be looking at is Toy Story. I wanted to design something that made you feel like you were a toy in Andy's room. So I think I nailed
Awesome.
it because a lot of people say they feel like a toy in this house. So
Okay,
it
give me a.
is quite big.
All right, I am going to put myself in screenshot mode so I can get nice shots. Okay, there we go. All right, lead on.
This is so weird. Sorry.
That's okay.
And this is Andy's room.
Oh, this is so cool. Wow.
This was one of the builds that I'm trying to think when Somerset came out. Was that 2 or 3 years ago? I think
This
it was
is
3 years
just
ago.
wonderful.
When Somerset came out is when this got completed because I finally got the white walls to complete it and some of the pieces I needed. So that's how old this build is. But it does have a Bo Peep, Buzz Lightyear, little binoculars dude, can't think of his name at the moment. We have the little green alien in the toy trunk. We have Andy, Mr. Potato Head, Rex and his goofy looking face. We have Slink, and then we have Bo Peep's sheep, but a lot of people do not know the sheep's name. And it's actually Billy Goat and Gruff. I
Is it?
initially made 3 sheep and had to go rewatch the movie, realized I screwed up. It was one whole sheep with multiple legs and multiple heads, and I was like, well, crap, and had to fix it.
Well, you did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I really love this dog. The dog is like, I had this dog when I was a kid, you know? And I love it. How did you
Yeah,
make
a
that
lot of
Slinky?
people get up
That's
there and take
awesome.
photos sitting on Slink like they're riding him around.
Ah, that's a great
He's
idea.
a bunch of rocks, a few sacks, and then it's an actual wheel. Um,
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it's from, but I can pull one out so you can see it. But it's an actual
Yeah.
wheel for his
Oh,
little slinks.
that is such a good idea. Such a good idea.
So yeah, now it's really hard to get perfect designs out of furniture, but everything that I make is made out of furniture or rocks. Most of it furniture though. So like we got Andy here, he's a bunch of pillows and a couple of rocks and a couple stumps and a gear for a hat. So, yeah, it's definitely not easy for everybody. It took me a little while to hone my craft, I should say. Um, and I've always said that the only people that can build crazy stuff in this game are people that are artists or architects
Mm-hmm.
because they come up with the craziest stuff.
I am just, you've got a lot of really awesome things here. But I think one of my favorite things is probably not as
Rex's
complex.
face,
No, this chair. This chair
the
is
chair.
so amazing. I love the chair. That
Yeah,
is
I had to have
so
a
cool.
chair. And
That's
there's
a
the
perfect
Pixar
chair.
lamp up there on the desk too.
Oh,
A lot of people miss that.
it sure is. And Mr. Potato Head. This is so wonderful.
Thank you. Should I travel to the next or give
Yes.
you a minute?
No, no. We're well. I try to do highlights, so that people still have a little. Of course, always going there in person is a lot more exciting than watching it on a video. But that way, we leave a little something for people to get excited about. So
It's
go
one of
ahead.
those things, if anybody wants to see it, just message me and I'll gladly show one of my houses. I don't show them that often. So, yeah, it's really strange. I build, but I'm very shy, so it's like I'm not very outgoing to be like, "Oh yeah, come look at my house."
Oh, this lamp! I just now saw the lamp. Oh, the lamp is so wonderful.
Isn't it? That was a pain in the butt lining up a bunch of rugs.
Yeah, it's great.
I am at the next one.
Okay. Hi, Blix. Blix is out there watching. Hey, Raspberry. All our. Oh,
Hey
look, there's a
guys.
whole bunch of stuff in chat that I'm missing here. Rocks are furniture. That's what Raspberry says. Saradella says the claw.
The claw. Yep.
And
I ran out of slots. I could do so much more if I had more slots, but you know how
yeah.
it is over here. We're limited.
Yes, I do. And Raspberry said I spent zero time on my outfit. What? I spend way too much time on my outfits, to be honest.
I believe it or not, I just changed mine. It was all black and
Mm-hmm.
red. Like even my skin was black, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. And well,
I thought
here we
so.
are.
I remember your black and red outfit, I think, because I saw you a couple of times I ran into you.
Oh yeah. And now we're here. Woo!
All right, let me get back and screenshot. Oh, I always mess the option up. Oh, let me try that again. There we go. All right, so where are we at?
We are at Peter Pan in Neverland.
Oh, thank God.
I was inspired by the Disney ride that I drove my husband nuts, making him ride multiple times at Disneyland because I loved flying through the clouds. So I decided to make it into a build here since I loved it so much. So let's
All
go take a
right.
look. Here we have the kids' nursery. We have Tink and Peter's shadow on the wall.
And what'd you make the shadow with? Rocks?
Rocks. The
Perfect.
infamous rocks,
Rocks everywhere.
right? I probably should change out these stairs. I do have new building materials. Oh my goodness.
This is wonderful. Perfect little nursery. And I love that the Nana dog is here.
Yep, a lot of people miss this part, the actual little sail on the wall on the Disney ride. There's a white
Mm-hmm.
sail with little pixie shimmers on it.
Yep. I
And
remember.
I did it in here. And a lot of people just don't even notice it. And it's just like, well, if you ride the
I
ride, you do
saw
know it's
it.
there.
I saw it when we were here last time, but I was like, I know it's symbolic of something, but I can't remember. But now that you say that, I totally remember the cells.
Yep, it was from the ride.
All
And
right.
this part tends to trip people up if they're high as a kite. They get stuck because they start tripping out.
As
I
we are
wanted it to
flying.
feel like you were flying through the clouds with
Wow.
Tink to Neverland.
And you can see all the people in the town below. This is a great great optical illusion. If you have not been to this house and experienced this, it's fun, like riding the ride. You know, I highly suggest you do it in person and not just see it on the video. But see, look at
Yeah,
this.
this
We're
is
flying into the clouds.
this is a
You
lot
see
of
the
people's
city
favorite part.
below.
They come
Oh,
here just to want to see this. So yeah.
that is so amazing. Wow.
Yeah, when I built this house, I actually started building this whole hallway right here into the clouds at a whole nother house to test it out. And I started getting too far and liking it. And I was like, I don't even have this house yet. I had to put in a ticket to buy the house to move it here because I knew where I wanted it, but I was waiting for the house to come back around and be available. And yeah, that's how I ended up with the house. I had to put in a ticket.
Well,
I
thank
feel like I need
goodness.
this.
It's perfect.
Then you go through a portal and you're in Neverland, complete with a pirate ship and an evil Captain Hook.
That is wonderful. I can see that best from up here, right? I'm
Yep.
going to see if I can get a little closer.
Let
Wow.
go of mommy's microphone.
And that's a custom built pirate ship, y'all.
Yep. I
See?
built that before they even came out with boats in game.
And look at that. Captain Hook on board. Oh, I think ads are
Sorry,
playing
I
on
have a
my
little bird trying
channel.
to eat my mic.
Oh,
No, you
I
can't have mommy's
really,
microphone.
I really wish I could turn the ads off on this channel. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just don't know how. Okay, Raspberry says a baby bro works for the mouse in Anaheim. Raz can confirm. And Sarah Della says, rocks are so versatile. Yes, they are. Raspberry
Yep,
said,
I don't use them as much as some people, like my husband. Um, but it's one of those things that it's really weird. In real life, I like skulls. I like things that terrify people that
right?
I'm okay with. But for some awkward reason in game, I'm building this cutesy, I hate to say crap, but cutesy crap. It's like my alter ego.
I
So,
know. I get it. You should see. You'll understand if you ever see my red bubble art. I've got like baby dragons, and then I've got like grim reapers on the battlefield. So I get it. By the way, Raspberry says, "Okay, Unholy Chastity Raz is super jelly of your possum skills." All
possum
right,
skills or awesome?
possum, both.
Possum
Possum.
skills.
I
Okay, I
think it's a
skin
cat
possums now.
reference.
Woo!
No, not yeah,
Oh, okay.
like cat paw. I think.
Oh, okay.
And let's see. Hey, thanks for the sub. I don't really know what subs are, Raspberry, but you've made the chat look beautiful. So thank you. I really love it. I'm still learning Twitch, y'all. I don't really. I really wanted to become an affiliate so that I could give y'all special badges, but when I did, I didn't understand how to give y'all a badge. So if there's a point in the future where I can give badges, I will, but I just have to learn how to do it. So. Okay, and whose house are we at? We are at Unholy Chastity. This is our Architect Showcase series, and we are featuring the architect Unholy Chastity. All right, so,
Hi.
all right, let me go down here because there's more to see in this build than just this
Yep,
wonderful pirate ship and cloud ride. There are some
yep,
wonderful little mermaids down here.
yep. My little gothic mermaid that everybody likes to pick on. I just call that one me. That was me.
Aw,
And
wonderful.
then there's even a crocodile over here. Can't not
I
have the crocodile.
love the crocodile. Let's see if I can get up
And
there.
again, rocks.
All
Oh yeah.
rocks. He's wonderful. And you even have it inside of the tree where they sleep.
Yes, that is up here. The little Lost Boys area. They live in a tree in the movie that's kind of underground of the tree. Um, I wasn't sure if you made it up.
Yep.
So I kind of tried to do that. Oh yeah, there's little boys sleeping in their bunks. I could not do all of them because I ran out of slots, but I did a few of them. looking like they're wearing their little rabbit and raccoon costumes. And then
Aw.
this one over here is Peter Pan sleeping in the bed.
Jess says if we could only mimic the ticking sound. Funny thing is she actually does mimic the ticking sound. Tell him how you did it.
There's actually a clockwork furniture piece. I can't even English, but that is down there that makes a ticking noise, and it's just hard to hear in this house for some reason unless you're literally sitting on top of the gator. So, but there is something there to tick. Guess I can go down there and see if it actually does tick.
Hang on a second. Let me do the lower level real quick. More Lost Boys in their bunny outfits. And this is all inside of a tree. And let me come out this way. Yeah, I don't know if I can pick up the ticking. I'm not sure how much game sound. Are y'all hearing game sound on Twitch, by the way? Just respond in chat and let me know if y'all can hear game sound. I just turned it up. I don't know if that affects anything, but Crafty Ferret did an alarm clock that's shaking. All right, let me get down here by the crocodile and
I
see.
can't hear. It's this house.
It's so loud by the waterfall.
Yeah, there's so many other noises, but I may have to move it.
Yeah, I don't hear it. But the fact is that she did think about that and she tried to put it in there. So I think that's
Yep,
awesome.
tried. Apparently failed.
That's okay. It's
Oops.
still wonderful. Look, Deli Ivories. That's an inside joke, sorta. Everybody knows about it though.
Yeah. Well, one of my houses, there's about 70 of them suckers making up a character we'll see here shortly.
All
And let me
right.
tell you, I had to run around and collect ivory for months to make this character.
Oh. All right. Let me know when you're there. And thank y'all for letting me know you can hear the the game sound. Russ says,
I have
"Oh,
landed.
oh, okay." Let me head over. All right. Let me put that screenshot. There we go. Okay. Oh.
All right. We are at a house I built for a Halloween contest that I apparently failed horribly at. It never even made it anywhere, even as an honorable mention in more than one guild.
Oh.
But I love it because I am a fan of the Addams family. Now, don't judge. I forgot Grandma.
I don't
I forgot
judge.
Grandma.
We'll
I
just say you
was like,
ran out of space.
well,
Where are we,
I'm out
by
of
the way?
space, definitely. This is the Witch's Coven cottage.
Oh, you're right.
Sorry.
This
Yep,
is fantastic.
I hid the house, built my own, and initially when I built the house, I built it not looking at anything, and it looks just as it does now, except for it had an extra story in it, and I was like, wait, that doesn't look right. And then I looked at a picture and I'm like, oh crap, it's too many stories, and I had to take it down one, which saved me on slots because I needed them for that greenhouse over there. That was a pain in the butt because we didn't have stained glass windows or anything when this house was made.
Wow, these windows do look really good though. And I do remember that window struggle.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't have none of that stuff, so.
This is awesome.
I know we have It Thing, we have Wednesday, Morticia, Pugsley, Fester, Gomez, and Lurch.
This is so good.
I think Morticia's my favorite. She has like the long black flowy hair and big pushed up boobs. And then Wednesday's holding a knife, like she's getting ready to go there and stab her brother. So,
Sounds about right.
yep. So,
And the bat just tops it off. I like the bat.
Had to have bats. And then I have a tiny graveyard. I ran out of slots, but there's a tiny graveyard, so to complement the house.
I really like the positioning that of your spider webs. They're really done well.
Thank you. You can actually come up here to view the whole house. This is where I built the house from.
Wait, I don't even know
Um,
where you're at now.
oh, sorry, right here. Right
Oh,
around.
okay. Oh, I didn't realize there was a viewing thing. I've been here before and I didn't know that.
Yep, this is where I built the house from, was right here, pushing everything out.
That's
So
wonderful.
yeah. Yep.
And this
Yep.
is the perfect location for it. I always thought this house has a real pretty outside view of the swamp. Real nice swamp sounds.
I thought it was funny going around and everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's another witch's coven house." And then they come here and they're like, "Wait, what?"
Right? Just
Yeah.
not your average. Not your average,
Nope,
Kevin.
not at all.
Let's go check out the
All right.
graveyard real quick. Nicely
While you're doing that,
done.
I'm gonna head to the next one.
All right. You have a ghost chicken in your graveyard.
We don't have ghost people, so
We do have one now. We have a ghost house
do
guest.
we?
Isn't it out? Yeah.
I must have missed it. There was a little bit that we took a break from the game. I had medical stuff and it was just I had to step away, so it was probably one of those times that I missed it.
Yeah, I don't
And I'm
remember.
at the next one whenever you are done there.
All right. Okay. Let me get
And
it.
we are at Lucky Cat Landing.
Nice.
This is only a 400 slot house like the Adams family. It is a small build crammed into a tiny area. I did not use any of the house itself. For anyone that is familiar with Nightmare Before Christmas, you should be able to tell that this is the City Hall building. And this one would probably be best in first person if it's easier for you.
All
This
right.
is so small.
I am first person.
And then
Oh,
to your right, we have Jack's house. To the left, we have the scientist's house, Sally's creator's house. Literally drawing a blank with his name at the moment. But then
this
over
is
here in this little
wonderful.
corner, we have Oogie Boogie, Shock Lock, and Barrel in the tub. I had to resort to many things because I ran out of slots. So they're on a hill in the distance, like Sally. Sally's up there on a hill in the distance. Um, oh, wrong thing. She's up there.
Oh, I
This
see.
here.
Very wonderful.
And then this is where I was telling you about all that ivory.
Oh,
We have
yeah.
zero.
Look at this, Deli. Pay attention.
Yes, zero is my favorite.
That's awesome.
It's my favorite. And then when you're going through the graveyard and there's the tree doors, I only had room to build three. So I built the Christmas, turkey, and Valentine's Day. But then when you go behind the Christmas tree door,
Ooh.
you're in Christmastown.
Oh, this is wonderful. Oh,
And
this
it
is
is
so
a mini build,
cute.
but I used a lot of slots. But we have a perfect jack in a, what's this? What's this? Pose.
Oh, this is so nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
I
let me
love
get my
it.
character out the road, blocking the view. I just go put myself in the Christmas tree so I'm not in the way.
You're fine.
Because
You're fine.
it's so small in here. I'm like, let me just get out of the way.
love how you angled did the sharp angles with the snow pieces or the ice pieces on the roofs. That's so wonderful.
I wanted to build a Christmas town, and so this was perfect. But then I wanted to do what the heck is it? Whoville. But then someone did it for
Aw,
an event,
yeah.
and I was like, I try not to touch things someone else has done. And there was someone that built a Nightmare Before Christmas house years ago, before I did mine, which I did this one a couple of years ago. And I didn't touch it because I was just like, I don't like to do stuff other people have done. But they did one type of scene. I did something completely different.
Yeah.
Um, so I didn't even build my Jack the same way or my Sally or Zero. They're completely different. I mean, like completely.
This is wonderful. These mirrors make really good windows too.
Yeah, we didn't have windows when this house was built.
Nope. Y'all remember those days?
So yeah, curtain or mirrors. Oh my goodness, I can't English today. What is the deal? Sorry. It's like, alrighty.
All right. Excellent job. I love it.
Anyone up for a small build? Another one? Another
Absolutely.
Christmassy one?
Oh, yeah.
All right. We're gonna go see the Grinch.
Blick says, but each person has a different perspective, I guess, in regards to, I think he was talking about in regard to building things that other people have done.
Yep.
Blix
I
has a
just
quite a unique house himself. If you haven't visited, well, I
I
think
am
everyone
here.
should do it at least once. All right, let me head over.
This one is an old house. Um, I don't show it that much anymore because I feel like Santa got violated a lot.
What?
Um,
That sounds horrible.
you know the term a hose on Santa?
Well then, okay. Uh,
Oh yeah, poor Santa got violated. But this is
that's
Christmas Town.
horrible.
This is Sleek Creek for those that are not familiar with the house, the way that it looks at the moment. Normally it's very open and very bright.
With
So
red
yeah,
sand and
yep. We actually have a nutcracker that I built.
good job.
Um, and then from right here at this angle is the perfect classic evil Grinch from the cartoon.
Wonderful. What did you make him with?
Wheat, I think that's what that
Oh,
is.
and you
It was
put
like
the
the
green
first year
lighting?
they came out with, yeah, it was the first year they came out with the
Yeah.
wheat. And it was actually an accident when I was building my other Halloween house. It's a very, very tiny build, like, I mean, tiny, tiny. Um, I noticed that and I was like, wait, I can build the Grinch. And I did. Now I've tried to rebuild him again, no luck. So yeah.
Oh,
But no, Max is over there too, and we have a little sad elf because the Grinch stole his Christmas from under his Christmas tree.
oh, he looks sad.
Yeah.
Very
And
cool.
then upstairs, inside. See, can't English. Oh
English
man,
is
English
overrated.
hard. English hard. We actually have, I wanted it to feel like you were standing in line waiting to see Santa, like you were at a mall.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a couple little elves and Santa.
Nice. All right,
Yeah, I
y'all
know.
in
He's
Twitchland,
very old.
tell us
He's
what y'all
very,
want for
very old.
Christmas.
Right?
Right? Oh, I
Like,
like
I
his
want a
hat.
pony.
Right? I definitely want a pony. I've always wanted
Actually,
a
no, I take that
horse.
back. I want a horse, not a pony. Ponies are evil little shits. I want a horse.
I want a Frisian
Take
horse.
that. Aha! My husband will tell you that's one of my favorites.
Really? Oh my god, I'm in love with
Frisian.
Frisians. Yep.
Frisian, Andalusian.
Yep.
Arabians.
Oh yes, Arabians were my first love. I
Yep.
like most kids have like imaginary friends. I had an imaginary black Arabian when I was a kid. I used to lead it around. It was so ridiculous.
Oh, I had horses growing up, and I cried when we had to get rid of them.
Oh.
Yeah, I spent all my time outside with the horses, and then I got stuck with people. Ugh. All right, I'm trying to think which one to go to next. All right, where is that? Did I pass it? All right, I'm just gonna have to go to my
Does
map because
Raspberry says
my collections.
does he crack nuts though? Were you talking about her nutcracker?
The Nutcracker. No, he doesn't crack nuts.
And Blick says, "Wait, what? Santa got
Raspberry.
violated by a reindeer? No, I don't. I think he
Santa
got
got violated by a reindeer. Oh my goodness. Who said that?
that was Blick's. I think
Lex? Oh my God.
Blick's he got violated by something else." All right, let me head over.
All right, I am about to land. Hopefully, I'm here.
All right.
This one is the Grand Sijic Villa. This house I originally had built somewhere else. It was very, very old and outdated, and it needed a refresh because I never showed it ever because once we got building materials, it looked really horrid. So it got to tune up and relocate. So this is Beauty and the Beast. In the beginning scene, we have our wolves chasing the horse and carriage with Papa, Belle's dad.
Excellent.
And then there's nothing else really out here. It's all blocked off just to lead you inside. It's supposed to look like the rose garden as you're going around.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like the way you did this area.
Thank you. This was originally a scavenger hunt house, and once it wasn't one no more, guess what? I got my build back. All right, so we have the master's chair, and we have the little doggy footstool.
That's wonderful. I love it. Oh,
We
this is
have
going to be fun.
Lumiere and Clogsworth, which a lot of people miss all of this and run straight through to the next room. So y'all actually
Well,
get to
that's
see
why
it.
we have you here narrating for us, taking us on the tour.
Now I'm going to come through here and get the heck out the way so that you can have a nice shot coming through there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yep,
You want to
there's
tell us
Belle
about her
and the Beast.
dress?
Her dress is mostly crystals, curtains, and a flower, a calenda stone, and then I can't think of the name of the flower. Not
That
wanting to
is
highlight for me.
so well done.
Oh yeah, initially it was made of just crystals, and it was very, very small at my old house. And then they dimmed the crystals on me, so it never lit up the same. And I was just like, all right, so moved it here, and it turned out really good. I went broke on stained glass windows in this house. Every room is packed with stained glass windows.
I
Oh
see
yeah.
that.
And every room has a scene. So if we want to go, we can go this way first if you'd like. This is the Be Our Guest
Oh,
scene.
yes.
Everybody singing and dancing, buckets, brooms, plates, candles, you name it.
Cups.
It's not as decorated as I was wanting it to be. I ran out of slots, so this room kind of lacked. But I fitted and did as much with it as I could.
Well, you get the idea. I mean, you definitely know what it is, what's it about, or what it's about. I can't English either.
Trust me, it's hard.
It
It's
is.
hard. And then upstairs, we have the suite that Belle was imprisoned to.
There better be a
Um,
wardrobe And there is.
There is a
You did
wardrobe,
not
and a lot
disappoint.
of people miss this scene. There is Lumiere
Oh,
and
yeah.
Plumette.
I love that
Everybody
scene.
misses this, and I even
Oh,
have it where it looks like he's dipping her. Oh yeah.
that's adorable.
And it was really hard to try to build a wardrobe and look fancy. This was the best I could come up with. But we have Mrs. Potts, we have Chip, and well, she's playing Belle. I ran out of slots, so she's Belle.
You did a great job with the wardrobe.
Thank you. And like I said, every room, stained glass windows went broke in this house with windows.
It gives a
I
better effect,
like,
though. This house is beautiful, but it's just the same for everybody. Everybody has it, but these windows really make it look different. So I think it was money well
yeah,
spent.
thank you. I hate to know what I spent on builds. I know other people probably feel the same way. They don't even want to know if they've spent on a build because it probably make them sick to their stomach.
I know I spent 6 million on my little Christmas village, the old school one, like right after Eleanor's stuff came out, and Coulon de Lacre was so expensive. It hurt my heart. I'll
Yeah,
never
I
forget
think
that.
there's 7 or 8 of the Dark Brotherhood stained glass windows in here as well. So we all know how much those cost. Ugh.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So this is the Beast Suite, where he would sit in his tower.
I like how it looks so much more masculine in here.
I tried to make it look spooky and eerie as possible. We even have our mirror, we have our rose shedding petals. Initially, I had my own rose built out of a radish, and then they came out with that one, and I was like, oh, look, that looks better.
Yes.
So, yeah. And then this picture I took and made it look like there was slashes in it and fabric missing, like in the movie where he cut his own face up.
Oh, that's wonderful. I never noticed that before.
So, yeah.
That's so cool. And how did you make the slashes?
They're actually rocks. Again, those darn
Really?
rocks. Yep.
Wow, you did a great job.
It is. Oh, not let me highlight it. It's a huge Cold Harbor rock, and it's just like the tiny little sliver of a corner. Oh
Excellent
yeah,
eye to detail.
thank you. And now we're gonna head downstairs to the library, and I am so sorry I don't talk this much, so I'm losing my flippin' voice. Normally I'm a mute. I just sit quiet.
Oh, gosh, these windows are
So this is
beautiful.
our library,
Ooh,
and then we have a beast in his fancy clothes with his ripped out legs and even has little claws.
that's so cute. I mean, excuse me, it's ferocious and terrifying, but it's definitely cute.
Originally, it was a statue, and I had like other things to make him, but I was like, you know what? I think I can do better, and that not as good as I wanted him to be, but it works.
I remember you
So
using
yeah,
a lion for his
yep,
head.
for the head.
Yeah, that
It's
was a
like a
good detail.
statue and a
Hmm.
mount. Oh yeah.
This library is wonderful.
Thank you. And then there's only one other spot in here, and then I can take the next house
All right,
if we have time.
we do.
I just love this room when you're walking through it, it just lights up like you're in a magical ballroom.
I agree.
So this is the scene where there is a ugly little old lady trying to offer a rose to a handsome prince for, I believe it was food and water, and then she turns into this big, beautiful witch, enchantress, whatever you want to call her, and then
The curse on
puts the
him.
curse on him. So yeah, it's unless it's being explained, a lot of people don't get this scene. I ran out of spots because I was going to do 2 separate scenes, but I just kind of made it one.
I think the way that you did it is very artistic. I love it.
Thank you. And then down here is just a plain Jane little dungeon with Belle's dad locked in a cell.
That is so sad.
It is. I know. It's horrible. Could not have it though. It was like it had to go there.
That's wonderful. I think I remember it at Colossal Grotto, but I think you really made some improvements when you put it here. It was great there, but I really like what you did
Yep.
here with it.
It was just, it was so outdated. We didn't have building materials. All we had was those darn boards.
I
So that's what my house
remember.
is built out of was boards.
Yep.
And yeah, I am at the next one.
Crafty says crazy old Maurice. See, I want that cheese too, y'all. They're on Twitch showing a little I don't know what it's called, like an emote of the shivering cheese.
Yeah.
And I wish I could figure out how to get one of those. Okay.
Go to Merkmeyer, pick lock
No, no, no.
boxes.
No, I have it in the game, but like in Twitchland in the chat, Crafty
Mhm.
has one, and he got it from Lucy Loves
Oh.
Crabs. And I don't know how you get that little icon to put in the chat, so I'm gonna have to find out.
This is the Bastion saying something house.
Does
I
anyone know
don't
how to
know.
say that? Sanguinaris or Sanguinaris?
I'll
I think
butcher it.
it's. Hang on. Well, we all know what we're talking about, so right. We don't English well
And
tonight.
hopefully you don't fall since you're in.
First
Um,
person.
yeah. This is Maleficent.
All right.
Oh yeah. This is the uh, what do you call it? Mog or what the heck it's called? The bog where she lives.
Yes.
And as
Oh.
we
Oh,
go
this
across our
is.
little vine bridge that she makes to go to the town,
You did these with
all the
sky
tree people.
shards.
Yes.
That is
Well, we didn't have
so.
water.
I
When I built
remember the
this, there was,
struggle. This looks amazing, though.
yeah, there wasn't water. Like, so I
Yes.
had to like work with stuff. I tried crystals. I'm like, okay, that's too many slots. And yeah.
Wow.
Uh, but the tree people are on their way to the royal wedding in the movie,
That's so neat.
uh, when they're coming into the town. And this is where I was telling you I had a little town.
Yeah. It's very similar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like the way you
Yep.
did
This
yours.
house, it took me a while to build. I kept coming back to it. I had builder's block. So certain things got done before others. The town was the very last thing that was built in this house because I couldn't figure out what to put here. So yeah,
Wow. This looks so good.
you know. And it's probably going to get very bright when we go inside. Fair warning, everybody, I am sorry in advance.
All right. Wow. I like your entry. This is so good.
This is
Oh.
where Maleficent comes to the castle and puts the curse on the baby, Aurora. And then we have our three little fairies, which one of them just disappeared. Hey, you little shit, come back. There it is. Okay.
I see that. Or off of.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, Maleficent has wings, she has horns, and she has Diavel, or as it's spelled, Diablo, but I swear she says Diavel in the movie. Um, oh yeah.
Very cool. I'm loving
But then
her
we,
wings.
right? I need those wings in real life. Like, just give them
Right?
to me. I'll figure out clothing later. Just give me the wings.
Exactly.
But nope. And
Nice.
then the next room. This is the king on his way to try to slay Maleficent when they have her trapped and in chains. Um, when they're trying to trap her and put her in chains. And they have Diaval, as in dragon form, in chains.
Oh,
And it
wonderful.
was very hard trying to figure out what to use for shields. And when they came out with this, I was like, oh heck no, I'm changing out what I have. These are going in. So yeah,
Yeah, these work perfectly.
because when the metal, if people that are not familiar with the movie, when metal gets close to Maleficent, it starts to turn red because of her, like it burns her. So it almost does like a weird reaction.
This dragon is so wonderful.
Yeah, I
With the
added some stuff to it to look
chains.
like he was changing still.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then again with the stained glass windows in these houses,
I was
man.
just about to say, you spent quite a fortune.
Yeah, and trust me, I'm always like, any crown sellers on? Any crown sellers on? And
I need
yeah,
windows.
yep. And then the next room we're gonna go to is where Aurora is under a spell and Maleficent is crying at her bedside. Oh, to make you go out of first person.
Yeah, when I go through doors.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, we have one more. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can go in and out real quick.
And then my merchant doesn't play a very
Oh.
good Aurora 'cause she moves too much and her eyes are open. It's like, you're a horrible actress. Go to sleep. Oh yeah.
We get the picture though.
Yeah, no, Maleficent, it was one of those things that one of the scenes she doesn't have her wings, so this one she doesn't. Because in the other two she has her wings. So,
Beautiful.
and then we have one more to go through. This is a very tiny space as well. I'll get the heck out of the way. And in this room, we have Maleficent's wing in the glass case where the king would come and sit and stare at them and talk to him like he was mad. And we have the spinning wheel where Aurora pricked her finger.
The music is so epic sounding right as we're looking at all of this stuff.
It's really eerie in some of these houses.
It is.
It, all right, how much time do we got?
Um, we have time for a couple more if you want. We've made good time. We've only hit it at 47 minutes, and I figured we were going to be like an hour.
Okay, let me find the house first. All right. I like my builds to be like it's being like it's telling a story like you're watching the movie or on a ride at Disney. So, yeah, this weirdo goes to Disney wearing Death Mickey t-shirts and people going, "That's not very magical." Yeah, I'm that weirdo.
I know, and I liked all the villains. I was the like only one in the villain line. you know?
Yep. It's like I saw a meme once years ago, and it was like, I always dreamed I was a Disney princess was like when I was a kid, and then who knew I'd grow up to be the villain?
Right?
It's like then it shows all the evil queens. It's just like, yeah, no.
I mean, Maleficent's just cool though. You can't deny.
Yeah, no, cannot. All right. This one is Aladdin, and we are at the Princely Dawnlight Palace.
Hang on, I just put my screenshot mode on, then I took it off. Okay, I'm ready. So, oh,
This is the opening
Aladdin.
scene where the it I don't know if it's supposed to be the genie pretending to be a human talking, or if it's just a little merchant, a little short, stubby guy talking about his Tupperware and trying to sell you stuff, and then he goes to tell you about the lamp and the story behind it. This is the opening scene from the movie, if you haven't
Nice.
seen it.
Oh, I have.
Then we're gonna take a jog up some stairs. I swear everybody that builds this house never actually builds like it's supposed to. They go up and over
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And then up here we have the scene from Jafar taking the poor little man out into the desert to be sacrificed. In the Cave of Wonders, we have Iago, which is supposed to be the hawk, and then the weird little light thingy is supposed to be the scarab that they're chasing through the desert.
Very cool.
Um, Now, the Cave of Wonders is based off of the cartoon version, not the Will
Movie.
Smith version.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So for a while, this poor cave looked like a effed up panda bear, and me cussing at it and walking away and coming back because I was like, it's not looking like a cat, it looks like a freaking panda. Yeah.
It looks great now, though. I could definitely tell it was a cat.
Yeah, my husband had to step in and go, maybe you should put the rock like this. I'm like, oh crap. It was like two rocks. It was messing up the whole thing. I'm like, God dang it. But then we actually go into the Cave of Wonders.
Oh, this is very neat.
And since all these houses are limited slots, this room as well, limited slots, we have a very small treasure
Treasure.
room.
Right.
And then if you come down here, this is where they jump over the rocks to go get the lamp. And
That's so
then
neat.
you can actually go out there, but then you have to come back this way. So yeah, you can't get up um, the other direction. And then I swear some days I can hit those rocks every time and do it perfectly, and other days I can't. But up here we have a little fan where you can turn yourself into a boo, and you can come over here
Oh,
and touch the
perfect.
red ruby you're not supposed to touch that he gets everybody in trouble with. So yeah.
So
And then we
creative.
have the carpet. And then out here, we're on our way to the palace.
The
This is the
elephant.
scene where Abu gets turned into an elephant. So he has his little monkey tail and his little hat.
That's wonderful.
Let me tell you, it's really hard to build an elephant in game. It, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Again, the
struggle.
darn rocks.
But the rocks have really turned out to be so good in so many situations.
They do. And then we have our palace, and then a very small market,
Nice.
again, limited on slots, but I try to give the illusion you were at the market on your way to the palace.
Very cool.
And then we're going to come around this way. Not going to make you jump over stuff. Make sure I didn't lose you.
I'm here.
All right. So for anybody that has watched Aladdin, they know Aladdin lives in, I guess it's the market area in one of the towers that overlooks the palace. So up here you have a perfect overview of the palace where Aladdin sleeps.
That is so thoughtful. I love it. I don't know. I think it's a pretty cool place to be.
Right? It actually was a perfect view. It's like I would have been like, hey, can we
Happy
build a
with
house
that.
here? Like,
Yeah.
now we're going to go inside. Luckily, there's only one door you have to go through in this one.
It's really not that big of a deal. Well, sometimes I say that and then I couldn't open it. All right.
All right. So this is the scene where they're fighting the Viper, where
Oh,
Jafar turns into the all-powerful Viper. We have our
Yes.
genie, which is kind of jacked up, but I did my best with it.
Considering what we have
Um,
to work with, this is amazing.
Now, originally this hourglass was not here. I actually had one built and it was more boxed off. And then when they came out with this, I was like, how did they know I needed this? Because literally this is where it was. And I was just like, it's absolutely perfect because
It
Jasmine was in
is.
it.
Yep.
And so that's where it went. I was just like, all right. And then Aladdin's being coiled up by the snake. And again, I had to put in a ticket. I needed a boo, so I had to get the crown monkey. Yep,
And they gave it
could
to you?
not.
I mean, I've
Yep,
got like houses and things like that, but I didn't know if they would give you monkeys.
yep. Oh, I begged. I was like, please, 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 I need it. I have to have it for the build.
It's perfect.
Um, but a lot of people miss that the carpet is chasing Iago. That's one of the
Oh,
scenes in the
yeah. Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
The carpet's chasing him around. So yeah. But no,
That is an awesome scene.
thank you. Yeah, this hourglass definitely helped because this was what I was not the happiest with was this hourglass that I had built originally out of clockwork pieces and it was bad.
I can't imagine even attempting an hourglass.
Like I said, it was a square. It was not pretty.
Mm.
So yeah.
And this is a
Trying to
wonderful use.
think.
There's not a lot of things that you can that I found that where I use the entire hourglass. I'll use the top or the ends or something, but this is wonderful.
Yeah,
Perfect
like
in
I said, it
here.
was one of those things it almost felt like I was like, wait a minute, they knew I needed this. So yeah.
It's just for you.
Yep.
All right. Well, how about one more? Do you have one more?
Trying to see what I have that I haven't shown. I have the Emperor's New Groove
What?
that is left, or a plain Jane build of mine that is a normal house, my attempt on a normal house.
You get
So,
to pick whatever you want to show. It's all about the architect.
all right, we'll go to the Emperor's New Groove. Hopefully, everyone here has seen that movie. If not, please watch it. It is a very funny movie or cartoon. You'll feel bad for the poor llama at some point.
I don't think I've seen it. Like I'm trying to remember it, but if I did, it was like one time and a long time ago. Normally, I'm
Don't
caught
pick
up
on
on
my
Disney
llama,
movies.
people, in the beginning of this. Don't pick on my llama.
It sounds like a 1960 song or something. Don't pick on my llama.
Yep, the opening scene is just like the movie. We got a little llama, and he's crying in the rain, sobbing, all poor me.
Aw, poor llama.
So yeah, we need a llama so I can plop a llama there. They haven't given us llamas yet.
You did a pretty decent job,
So yeah. And
considering.
then over here we have Mr. Crunk. He is one of the characters that is dumb as a box of rocks, all muscles. And then he's throwing a sack out into the river to go over the waterfall that has Emperor Cusco in it, which Emperor Cusco was turned into a llama. And on Krunk's shoulders is a devil and an angel, and they're arguing on basically telling him, oh, you should be doing this, and yeah. So, and he sits there arguing back and forth with them for a few minutes.
Very neat. You're quite good at making people.
It's a statue, and I dressed him up with pillows.
You did it well.
And then I could not build the Emperor's New Groove without the squirrel. Squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeaking.
I can't believe you
You
made a
owe
squirrel.
me an acorn.
Oh, that
That's
is
basically one of the lines in the
adorable.
movie.
I don't think I've seen it. And now I have to see it.
This is Pacha. He is on his way from the palace, and there's Cusco in the back of the wagon in the sack, heading back to the village.
Very nice.
And on the way, when they're going through all their jungle adventures, Pacha and Emperor Cusco get chased by jaguars. They're the jaguars.
Ooh, ferocious.
And then they also go down a raging river strapped to a log and end up in croc-infested waters. And there is Emperor Cusco, poor little llama, and Pacha strapped to a log, surrounded by crocs.
Wow.
Yep,
Don't think I'd want to be them right now.
right? It's actually a funny cartoon if you like cartoon movies. It's an older one, but it's cute. And then this little scene is Pacha's village. Pacha's house is the one on the very top of the hill, and basically Emperor Cusco is wanting to knock out his house to build his pool house, like literally a summer house with a giant pool.
I mean, sounds like Goonies, sort of.
This is the little tent where Yzma and Krunk camped out on their way, chasing down Emperor Cusco when she finds out that he was still alive, because he was supposed to be dead.
Don't give away
And
anything for me,
then,
though. No spoilers.
no spoilers. Well, it's too late,
I know,
man.
too late.
This is the palace. The palace is actually a giant golden head.
Oh, look at
Um,
that.
so the entrance to the palace. So I did that. And then in one of the scenes in the movie, Yzma and Emperor Cusco are taking potion bottles, and Yzma gets turned into a cute little white kitten, and Emperor Cusco gets turned into a turtle. So there they are.
Very cute.
You're gonna have to swim in this one just for smidge. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can do it. Wow, this hall looks great.
Thank you. This is Yzma's dungeon area. And for anybody that's familiar with the Emperor's New Groove, this is the pull the lever crunk area. And then you fall through. Oh shit, I hit something. Oh crap. Sorry. I hit
Oh,
something on the way down.
ouch, ouch.
There's nothing there. You can just go through the portal.
All right.
And then when you come out, one of the scenes is Emperor Cusco as a llama, and he has a crocodile attached to his fanny.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
he's having a
he's
bad
got a little
day.
crocodile. And then a lot of people miss this. This is actually the owl if you look up. There is a giant owl cabinet full of all of Yzma's potions. So
Oh,
I made an owl cabinet. I could probably improve that at this point. We have new building materials.
nice. Yep. I don't know though. What would you make giant wings out of?
I don't know.
Maybe
That's the best thing I
wheat?
can come up with at the point in time.
If you had a lot of space left over, maybe? I don't know.
Well, right now I'm looking at two slots because I replaced the bridge because it was three sections and I just replaced it with the other one a couple of days ago. So yeah. And we're on our way to the throne. And we can't have this big old build without Yzma herself, her big bulgy eyes, and her retarded long lashes. So there is Yzma in all her glory.
Wow.
She looks a lot sexier than the original Yzma. Yzma's really bony and looks like she needs to eat about 50 cheeseburgers. Um, but yeah.
Those eyelashes. What did you make the
Yeah,
eyelashes out of?
spoons.
Spoons. Oh my god.
Because at the ends of her eyelashes, there's little like balls, like where it's too much
Yeah.
mascara.
Yeah.
So yeah. No,
That's good.
the spoons. But that's my builds. Most of them. I have everything else is itty bitty builds. So yeah. They're not I think the only other one I have is a Halloween house. So yeah.
Wow, this was a great assortment, and I feel like it. I think everyone we went to, well, not everyone, I guess, but most of them were Disney themes. So it was kind of theme matching. So that was good. I think that's perfect.
Yep.
All right,
It's weird.
it's wonderful. My favorite is probably I probably shouldn't pick a favorite, but I really like the Peter Pan one. Really, really.
Everybody's favorite is Peter Pan. Before that, before I made Peter
Yeah.
Pan, it was Toy Story. It
Oh
was Toy
yeah.
Story hands down, and now it's Peter Pan.
It has
So,
been so long since I went to your toy store, though. I think like many years ago, like when you were in cottages.
hmm
Was it when you were in cottages the first time? Did you have the?
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
because it had been so
It's
long
it's
since
an
I've seen
old
it.
build.
I forgot how
Yep.
wonderful it really was. It was great to see it again.
Well,
Okay,
I thank you for having me.
well, I thank you for coming on and being our featured architect. And to everybody who is watching, if you want to see this again, it will be exported to our YouTube channel. It'll be tonight, but I'm just going to say tomorrow because it's going to be a couple hours before I get to it tonight. So, anyway, thank you, Raspberry. I don't know what that icon means, but it looks really special. And okay, stick around, Chastity, and I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and end the live feed. Good night,
Okay. Bye,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you.